Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? Yeah, we're live. Welcome to a new live stream. My name is John Lemcool. Yay! We have a new library to play with, and we can do some really cool things. Check this out. Let's bring in a big choir of this. Have some fills. It's so fun to play with this. This is a library called Modern Cinema Renegade. Let's see here. It was made by Bob Dedes. I've just learned how to say his last name right. And let me see here. I'm going to call. We're going to do an interview with Bob right off the bat for this library. Okay, just a moment. I'm going to get, let me see here, go like this. I need to just get something up and show you guys what this library is really quickly. How are you doing? I hope you all are doing well. Let's see, I'm going to go to here and hide everything real quick. There you are. So this is the library. Get back to Unify. There we go. And to here. And let's see. Oh, yep, right here. Boom. Look at that. This is Modern Cinema Renegade. I love this artwork. It is just so cool. Michael Van der Ant, my wonderful graphic. I've got two graphic artists that work on different libraries. There's Matt Chowski in Poland, and then Michael Van der Ant lives in, and I'm probably saying I want to learn how to say his name right. I'm not saying it right, but he lives in Amsterdam, I believe, and just incredible work. So this is a library of modern cinematic sounds, but it goes so much farther than that. So I'm kind of marketing it as, yeah, it has swoops and cinematic percussion stuff, but it also has all these incredible instruments in the library that Bob put together. So let me get Bob back in our Skype. There's our happy Skype music. We all know that music, right? There we go. Let's see. There he is. All right, so let me bring him on. Are you ready? Everybody, here's Bob Dedes. Hello, Bob.
Hello, everyone. John, thank you for having me in your stream.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you for putting together such an incredibly fun library of sounds.
Tried my best.
Oh man, you knocked it out of the park, man. It's just wonderful. Hey, so tell everybody to you what this library means. What is this like? When you built this library, what was the kind of like? What was the design from your perspective?
Right. So actually, how it started, it started like a sound design project.
Okay.
So I was doing all kind of trailer elements like hits and bushes and stuff like that.
Right.
Then I just happened one day and got inspired by something that I was listening to by mistake, not purposely.
Right.
Not on purpose. And I was thinking like, okay, I could make this music, but I need some tools, and maybe I could make this tool.
Right.
So that's how it started. And then I was going back and forth basically from demos to sound design. Right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm here. We're here.
Going back and forth from demos to sound design, then back to demos and see what else do I need. Okay, I'll make it in the sound design process, and then I'll add it as a new tool to the library.
Right.
And how I built this library. Not, I didn't just make sounds and put them all together, but I wanted to put them all together so that it makes sense and they are useful as a to work together to get the sound that you hear in the demos, basically.
Right.
Of course, you can do more, but that was my initial idea.
Right.
And that's why I have some of the demos are not really with the guitars and everything. They are more pop songs.
Right.
But in general, I wanted a big cinematic sound, you know, big ensemble percussions and stuff like that, and sound design elements. So yeah, that's what I built.
Right. Well, I think it's really fun for it to be kind of like capturing, kind of like, you know, in film, there's all these different energies that you have for different scenes. And this kind of captures that, you know, being chased, high energy, but it can go other places, of course, because of the elements and how flexible they are. But I really think it's really fun and great to like capture in a bottle, like, you know, this bomb just as it's exploding kind of thing or something like that. It's really fun.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, composition helped a lot because I have composed, obviously, a lot of trailer tracks.
Yes.
So I needed how to go about it. I just wanted the vibe to be specific in the beginning.
Right, right.
But it was interesting. And, you know, there are some, I can tell you some things like, for example, the body percussion parts. It really got me a lot of time and long time to get it where I wanted. It was really difficult. And you may hear all the patches in the library and say, body percussion, no. But yeah, it actually was very difficult.
Right. To make it's like, you know, to match what you see on scene, you know, a lot of times they use fruit or you use different techniques than you think you would, right? To make the sound.
That's right.
Yeah. Like, so give us an example. What's one of the sounds that took some like trickiness to pull off for you?
Oh, it was not tricky to pull off. The tricky part was to make it sound good together and also to make the variation sound good. That was the tricky part. So I could, for example, snap my fingers and make snaps, but then I wanted to have like two people doing snaps, so I had to layer them. And then like more snaps, like an ensemble snap. And this is kind of tricky to do and get the round robins as well.
Right.
And then put together with the claps and all the other elements, and they work well together. This is because there is a lot of going on actually, so it's kind of tricky.
Yes, it is.
Kind of tricky, but I got it.
Well, you pulled it off. I mean, what I really love, because I've done a lot of guitar sampling sessions, and to get to where you have that same muted guitar tone for 8 separate samples, that's a lot of work to get 8 samples that would work correctly, right?
That's right, yeah. I was thinking to have round robins, so, you know, everything is not exactly the same when you play. So each time you hear back a track where you have used round robins, it was very slightly bit different, more natural. And round robins, of course, they are all in all the percussion sections and in all the instruments, almost all, maybe with the exception of 2, I think.
Right. So
yeah, there's a lot of variation, which is good.
Yeah, it makes it have life. You know, you can play it, and guitars with single samples, you get the, you know, machine gun effect, and you know you don't have that here. It's like a real player is playing along with you, so it's wonderful. Let's see. Do any of you guys have any questions for Bob? Now, question for the basses and guitars. Did you play those? Are you a bass player and a guitar player?
Okay, so I'm. It depends how do you define that. I'm basically a trained pianist.
Yes.
I'm a trained pianist, so I've studied piano and advanced theory.
Right.
And that's my study.
Right.
Now, guitar, something I picked up just because I liked it, and you know, in the past I was playing a lot of electric guitar, and then I got into acoustic guitar.
Right.
So I play, but I haven't studied.
Right.
In that sense. Okay.
You're not Al Di Meola.
Sorry?
You're not Al Di Meola. Do you know Al?
Hey, I love this guy, by the way.
Yeah, me too. His music. I've been a fan of Al Di Meola since the 80s with Sequencer, with Jan Hammer. Such a great album.
Right.
Yeah, but you played the instruments, right?
I play the instruments, yes.
Because it's the tone and the playing and everything. It works so nicely. So I was just curious if you built them or if it was someone else that built them. So that's awesome.
No, no.
Yeah.
It's all me. Singing too, and my girlfriend.
Yes.
Of course, she helped.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun today.
Let's see.
Lot of fun.
Any questions for Bob on this library? See if we get anybody having, since it's such a new library, it just came out yesterday. So people are just soaking it up now. So if they have questions, I can maybe forward them to you if they come up after the stream, stuff like that. But yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of stuff to explore, so it might take a while.
Right.
But yeah, I'll be here for any questions you have or any help you want.
Yes. Now, if you're on the Facebook Unify page, Bob just joined that. So he commented on the release of this library. So if you have questions, you can post them there. Toby asked an interesting question. The library is called Modern Cinema Renegade. Does that mean there will be more modern cinema libraries? And that's a very highly possible. I mean, that's the idea. It's under its own moniker, kind of like Mega Magic, so that this is Renegade. There could be who knows what in the future. Capturing a different film moment.
That's right. So I like tools that they give you everything you need, like complete tools like this one, Renegade.
Yes.
This one is more aimed into high energy stuff. So, maybe in the future will be something, which will be a different kind of energy, not this high energy, maybe something else. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, your first demo was for Mega Magic Dreams. So you definitely can go to that. I mean, I still love those demos from way back when. So people are asking if we're going to have some funk or jazz type patches. There's a funk bass in there, so we can definitely go to funk for sure.
So I have a funky bass. I also have I have two acoustic guitars named WSB. They have this initial, which is for Washburn, basically. These are acoustic guitars with distortion.
Right.
And I have used them to make some funky guitar riffs, which I have included in the waves folder. And also I've created other riffs that I use in my demos. Some of my demos have this little bit of funky element.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can make more if people want fun.
But I think they're talking about using the instruments in this library and doing some MIDI file funky kind of thing patches.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely.
That's not a problem. We will. I mean, so the plan is this: the library is going to be at its introductory price, which is just an incredible deal, until April 2nd. I'm going to give it until Saturday the 2nd because I'll have a live stream on the 2nd, so we might as well keep it for that final day push to have it available, or maybe the 3rd because that's Sunday night, and that's kind of like the end of the weekend is usually when I will end a sale. But somewhere around there, the sale will end. So it's not like it's just this weekend or something like that. You have time on this product, but people are loving the demos that you knocked it out of the park. Good stuff. Yeah. No, I was really surprised when you made all the big slams and stuff. How did you like break things? Was that?
Oh, that was a good one. Unfortunately, I didn't break it.
Have to crack some glass and stuff, right?
I didn't have to. Yeah. How I did that? Well, I recorded a lot of Foley sounds, and basically, I made a ton of layers, prepared layers, and then I have special tools that I do all sorts of combinations.
Right.
And I use all sorts of effects on top, and layering and combinations. It's a long process, basically.
Right.
But the most tricky part is to get to a point where it sounds good in repetition and you have the round robins. That's the hard part.
Right.
For me, that was the hard part. But yeah, that's how I did it basically. It's Foley sounds.
Okay.
And the library in general has this organic element into it. Like this library is 90, maybe more, 90% organic. This means that I have used synths for some sounds and for some sound design, like only 10% or less. It's
Okay.
mostly organic, all the hits and the
Right.
bass, the guitars, and the instruments.
Right.
So this is very important because usually you get trailer tools that are more synthetic. So it is great to combine organic and synthetic material to get this hybrids,
Yeah.
hybrid
I agree.
result.
Yeah. No, that's why it has such nice life to it. You know, it's got a vibe to it that's not just, you know. But the other thing that's really impressive to me is how solid the low wind is on the hits. That just, it's that immediate hit. A lot of times with low wind, you get where it blooms in a way which is really hard to use. But these, I mean, it's like, bam, you know?
I'm so glad you like them.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's great. Great.
Awesome.
Where can we hear more of Bob's music? Well, if you go to the SoundCloud for PlugInGuru, there's probably 30 songs, probably that you've done 20 or 30 demos over the past 7 years, I'm guessing, at least, if not more.
Oh,
You also have your own...
I have done demos for you, but I have done...
Many.
I've done demos for other companies. I've written trailer music. I have a lot in my SoundCloud, not everything. I also have a lot in my YouTube channel, and you can find that. Maybe you could share the link if you can.
Yes, I was doing that right now. So SoundCloud. Are you under Manfighter Music on SoundCloud? Or Bob Dedes?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
So you could listen to a lot of different genres of music, because I like to write a lot of things, especially trailer music, high energy music. I also like a lot of ambient music, and very relaxed music.
Right.
Piano music. Yeah, generally these are my best. The genres I like best, and I write music for them.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to. Maybe it's just. I'm trying to find you on YouTube. I think. Let's see. That might make it show. Yes, here we go. It's under. Is it under Epic Music World?
No. Oh no. It's maybe. I will share it with you in a bit. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. If you find it and send it to me in the Skype chat. But if you search just.
It should be Manfighter Music. I think it's just that.
Okay, let's see here. Manfighter Music. There's a topic, but it doesn't have any content. So you can send that to me when you have a chance.
It should be a channel.
Yeah, there's Pandora Journey and all sorts of things that have your music being played. But
these are advertising channels.
Right. Okay, well, get that to me so we can share it with everybody. But I was able to share them the stream with everything that you've done here on, There's a lot of tracks here to go through for, no doubt, on the SoundCloud page. So that's great.
Right.
Awesome. Well, you did great. It's so fun to have this new direction for Unify. I can do this stuff and have so much fun with it. So I can't wait to see where we go next, right?
Right.
Someone's asking, what's your favorite piano sound that you like to use?
What do you mean, like an instrument, like a contact instrument or something? What do you mean?
Well, it's just a kind of more generic. Like if you need to use piano on a composition piece and you don't have a real piano, what would you say is your first to call up?
So in terms of virtual instruments, we're talking about,
probably
right?
Virtual instruments. Yeah. That's hard because there's so many pianos and it depends, right?
So it depends on what I'm working, if it's a classical piece or not. So I won't name companies, but I'll just tell you that I love in general the felt pianos a lot for ambient music and for for cinematic music also. There are all sorts of pianos out there. I mean, there must be thousands of them.
Yeah, there are.
I mostly like the felt, the ones that have very close, very low end into them, and they have all sorts of nice noises on top.
Right, for sounding realistic.
Yeah, not only the round drums, some of them have also like very cool noises when you hit the key. It's like the sound of the key.
Right.
So all sorts of stuff.
Right.
But
right.
it kind of depends on what I'm working.
That means you love Mega Magic keys, of course, right?
That's right. And I have I wrote an original classical piece, right? Not classical, yeah, but you would say it's neoclassical. Mm-hmm. And I use the snaps from, guess what?
Renegade.
Right.
Yeah, I think probably over the last 6 months or so, a couple of the demos that you've done have had some elements of Renegade in it. So that's kind of fun. So one way to test is to use it, right? So
that's right. Yeah, I was working on it for 4 months, since October, basically. I think it was since October that I was working on this library.
Right.
So, yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, thank you so much. We're going to show everybody the library now, and it's late in Greece, and you have to get up at 6:30. So thank you for taking some time to hang with us.
It doesn't mean I'll go away. I'll stay and watch the live stream. Just
Okay.
relax and watch the live stream. And before I go, I want to thank you a lot for having me in the stream, and also for releasing this library with me and make this stream come true. And also would like to thank Shane for all this work, and he helped me a lot during this process.
Yes.
And I hope everyone is well and have fun with the library, basically.
Yes. Well, thank you, because I mean, it was your suggestion for the keys being coded and stuff that I took to Shane and said, so we're thinking about this would be important for this library. And I was like, because it's so hard if you can't see on the keys where there are sounds and where there are not sounds. And so,
And you did it. And that was great.
I'm so happy. It's been a wonderful synergy to work together, and I can't wait to keep working on stuff like that. So thank you, Bob.
And thank you, John.
Yeah, cool. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so
Bye.
Yeah. So Bob is going to be in the chat, so you still have questions. He can be in the chat to answer any questions, let you know of things. He's going to send me the link to his YouTube channel so we can go there as well. Thank you, Simeon. Hopefully, I got you a copy of the library. It's a little bit late to get going, but hopefully that is in your possession now to work with, to show to your wonderful people in your streams and so forth. If you do YouTube and you would like to review this library in a video or Unify in this video, please write me at unifysupport@pluginguru.com. We would love anybody that wants to expose us to their circles of influence. It would just be yes. In a heartbeat, we would do that. So this is a crazy library. I use this demo just because this kind of shows you everything that you have. Well, not even everything, because this doesn't get into all the cinematic stuff of this library, but this is a library of 84 patches, because Bob sent me 2 more that he worked on since the library came out that I will show you guys. But basically, this is the concept. It's basically like 5 chapters. There's the trailer percussion is chapter 1. There's what we call organic hits. The first part is your cinematic things that you would use in a traditional way. And by the way, this library, we were at first going to make one version with just Unify and another version with the Wave library. And then we decided to combine them And so the wave library, I'm going to show you guys in part of this video. I just did a video walkthrough on the YouTube channel here, so you can see the whole one, and that gets into even a little bit more detail probably than we'll do right now. Although we might use this in some different ways, I want to show you conceptually why these things are so cool, even if you don't do cinematic music, right? This is designed for cinematic composers to do trailer music, but it goes so far into every other type of music that everybody can use it, right? And then 3, you get to the ear candy, hits, vocal things. You'll see those in a second. Stabs. And then 5 is all of these instruments, these just unbelievably cool, like mute guitars. And just so we're clear, check this out. Let's see if I can do this. These sounds, every note, there's 8 samples of that note that it's randomly choosing between. It sounds the same, but you hear little subtle differences. So that's just one guitar. There's probably every note 8. If you look at the keyboard, every one of these notes is sampled with 8 samples. And I believe there's 2 velocity or 3 velocity layers. Thank you, Alex. So all of these instruments, it's so cool. We don't have anything like this in Unify. I've never gone into round robin territory with pretty, well, a little bit, with maybe 2 samples or something like that. There's some things in Cloud City that will randomly show the samples in the guitar menu. Okay, so are you ready? Boom. These are all the samples used. Each note has 8 samples. Or 6 samples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 6 round robin library. In fact, I think you probably, no, it doesn't say up here, but that's all the samples used to make this guitar. And if you go to something like this is crazy. This is the high memory, it's called Cruncher, which goes between mutes into sustained tone while you're playing it, just by velocity. So it's super. This is just a single Guru sampler. Are you ready? It starts and goes and goes and goes. There's 1,680 samples. So all of these samples, I'm still scrolling, and it's still not, we're to B2, 3. All of these samples, Guru Sampler is, I mean, talk about a headache. I'm still scrolling. There's 5 velocity layers of samples to go between. And I found something. If you really want to make it even more convincing, turn down amp velocity. Or maybe a little bit. But when you're this way, it doesn't dynamically change volumes. I mean, there's guitars that have even more samples and use keys to switch articulations, but there's something really fun. Once you play this, it just plays so nicely. It's really, really, really cool. So let me show you the library. To start with, there's the trailer percussion. These purple notes, as you can see on the keyboard, there's no sounds here. These are all these pre-rolls. These are things you can put before a hit. So you can just play them and then a hit. And each one has round robins. So you can play it over and over again. Let me show you the difference. Here it is, round robin. Here it is as a single sample. Let's say no unpitched. This is what it'd be like if there were not round robins. I could go to any sample. Right? That's how most trailer libraries are of percussion like this. This is I mean, it's a world of difference to have the round robins to these. Right? So you have all those, you have super toms. By the way, we plan to do an update to this library before the 3rd, probably about the 29th. We're going to drop probably at least 40 bonus patches into this library, and that will include a couple fixes. When you call up the super toms and you look at the keyboard, you'll see these notes down here. Something happened, they got broke. I can actually give you the patch right now if you want, but basically the concept is to have the fills, and maybe we'll make some grooves or something in here or something like that too, that just play a cool pattern. Up above you have hits. But down below, these notes will show, but they don't make any sound in the version you have. So sorry about that. It's one of the few errors in the library. Okay, the rims are more the higher energy. And again, one note. And it's randomly changing, so you're not getting the robotic up of the same thing. So that's the case with everything in the library. The body percussion, so you can play the same note and do rhythmic things and not sound like a robot. So check this out, there's stomps. Then you have chest. Yeah. And then you have slaps. Snaps. And then claps from small to large. Playing one note. That's really important to realize. You can put this into a pop song, into whatever you want. Like if you check out that groove that I love to play, this Rock and Renegade, there's hand claps, right? But it sounds like a real group because it's different samples every time it comes to a hand clap. It's not the same hand claps. Every time it's choosing from a pool of 4 different samples, right? I mean, it just makes all the difference the whole key to this library is that it has life. So all of these instruments, you might have these instruments made by other companies, but here you can go to the basses and even the Mogis and so forth like that are different samples. We can see, now this might not, let me see here. No, look at that. Anytime you look at the list, when you see that many samples, that means there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 samples per note, even for a Mogi bass. Like if I go to C2, there's just one. Oh. Oops. Tonda, but a short tonda. So we can go back here to Mogi. Anyway, get the idea. You could hear there's a big difference between playing it as a bass with just a single sample versus the round robins. So there's 6 round robins. Yes. Oh, and time saving. I love that. The U.S. is just, well, the Senate, it has to go to the House of Representatives, but it looks like daylight saving times is going to be set at what it is right now and never change. Not every winter we go back an hour. It looks like that's going to end. So that's awesome. Anyway, back to the, just really quickly. So you have all of that percussion, and then you have all of these really, really cool sub hits. If you're on big speakers or really good headphones, you'll hear there's really, really cool low end, all that. There's whooshes. These are so cool in all sorts of music to have. Those are really, really, really great to put. They're different lengths. Right? Really, really usable. Risers and drops. And then over here's the drops. And if you want, I probably should go to the envelope. Actually, I should point out, on the knobs, we have everything set up so you could just bring the release really short so it could immediately transition from right? Anytime you need a drop, that would be your purple. From your standard. Right? So these are mapped out for you to be able to use in sequence. We'll get to it in a minute, but the Wave version has the 12 demo songs Bob wrote available, all mapped out as separate audio tracks. So I'll show you that in just a minute. These are cool. They're tuned. And these are really kind of designed to be just sparingly used, but you can abuse it too. Make really cool melody sounds and so forth. There's vocal chops. And I brought up the mod wheel to be a kind of an LFO pulse for. There's other libraries where the mod wheel. Check this out. I made an LFO with this shape. And then it's playing as fast as it can to turn into a type of a ring modulation. Let's find out. Here's more of a pure tone. Check this out. And that's not even as high as it could go. I could. So you could do that kind of stuff if you need to. Really, really, really fun. Stabs, we got brass stabs, right? Which is really cool. And then we get to the 5th chapter, which is all the instruments. Really cool basses. And again, there's controls on every one of these patches, including filters, so you could right? Your reverb and effects are here for everything. So they all, what's really fun, go to the trailer percussion and yes, I kind of messed up this patch. I'm going to actually, let's do it together. I'm going to resave. When the mod wheel is all the way down and the filter's down, it's just a little bit there. So I can do this to my version because I'm working with the Wave version, but when you get the updated version of the library, this will be fixed. If you want to fix it, just open Guru Sampler and just bring the envelope intensity for the filter down. Then when the filter comes down, it's dark. Without this, what happens is this filter is, doing that. So bring this down. Right? So you can do it up and down. Cool. I'm just checking chat. I haven't checked chat for a few minutes, so. Thank you, Creator Media Tools. That's awesome. Key zones is something. Okay, so continuing on this, as you can see, having real-time knobs is really fun for a lot of these sounds. The basses, I showed you. Again, there's a video doing the whole library, so I'm not going to go through the entire library, but there's so much. The BPM percussion. Body percussion is a new category of patches. We'll be making more of these so that this will be a whole menu of just the elements of body percussion. Is really, really cool. The Epic Percussion Builder is really fun. Check this out if you haven't, because this has 4 different of the percussion elements. The basses, the rims, then big hits. So you can it's great for all that kind of makes you want to hop on a train and chase somebody like in the movies, right? Anyway, there's all sorts of fun things here. Percussion fills. These are the tom fills that are found up in the toms menu. But these are the hits, trailer percussion, not tom fills. So killer stuff. Then we get to the guitars. I showed you the high memory cruncher and its 1600 samples. There's so much to this library. All these guitars are just like the gems of the library. The character. Rascal is different than Cruncher, which, like, if we go from the muted Cruncher, just so you can compare. Right? Here's Rascal mutes. then standard mutes. So usable for so many genres. Then we get clean mutes, which means you could put anything you wanted. If you wanted to go over here to our distortion, add Swanky amp. Or any other effects for distortion that you own. Those are great. And then, well, sidekick mutes. And I love these because it's I mean, it's a great tone for pop songs. If I can play right. And then Worm. Almost sounds like an acoustic. Just so well recorded. Cool synths. Yeah, Daniela, for sending patches and stuff, please send them to Unify support at pluginguru.com. And we'll talk about that in a minute once we get through showing this. All of these have round robins again. Like Dirty Talker, if you hold it, it morphs, but it's looped. But again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 round robins per sample. That's why it's a 12 gigabyte library, because you can do this and it's not just bump, bump, bump of the same note, right? There's other leads. Cool stabs, bright synths. So useful for and again, if you go over here to the knobs. Oh, did I forget again? I did. Skippy. And then you can slow down the attack and the release. Have a nice, soft, but kind of a bright, kind of different personality to a synth pad. I'm going to save that. Fixing my boo-boos as I go. Get ready. Again, 6 round robins. Can you show how to compose with this library? Sure, I will do that. The synths, there's a total of 8 of the leads and the synth parts. Right? Then we get into the builders. These are the vocals that Bob sang with his girlfriend, I believe. And if I go over here, you can see the range. And the light blue is outside of Bob's range, but he kept those notes because it still sounded okay. But I talked Bob into letting it be that it was mapped, but limited by the patch. So that if you go to the low note range and lower this, you can get to really, really cool, more synthetic-y. Take it down an octave, and you get really cool. Big droney pad type of elements and stuff like that. So you can do that with all of these. There's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 11 of these in total. They're all great. I love stadium because it just sounds like you're in a big stadium. Right? And then we made some bonus patches. Like I said, this area here is going to like quintuple in size. This will be probably 40 patches by the time that we've finished making all of our bonus stuff. Here's the 2 mute guitars together. So if we wanted to write something with this, let's do this. I have to quit. I'm using the standalone version of Unify. So I'm going to quit that. And I'm now over here inside of the Logic Pro version of Unify. And let's get rid of the keyboard because that's not going to work. Let's do this. We're going to do something and then add guitar and then add cinematic percussion. But let's start with the Cloud City groove to just show you how flexible this is. And let's go BPM splits. Oh, Race for the Cure. That might be a little too cinematic. No, that'd be cool. Let's use this. That's fun. All right, so go. 2. Okay, so I'm just playing one note melody. Quantize. Let's loop. Let's turn on the cycling for this. So that it will loop this. Pop another copy of Unify on another track, right? Just playing what I did for the first part. Let's see. No, we need to say all libraries. Oh, I want to say all libraries. All libraries. Thank you. So we can go find one of the guitars. Let's try the mute. Maybe one of those ones that goes to the open, like let's use Crunch Your Light. It really makes a difference. I'm going to change the velocity curve here. So when I play soft, it's louder. It really makes a difference to be able to get to the sustain tones. I'm just recording just for fun. Just a little ostinato piece. You know? Then we go to another layer. Let's go back to Renegade, get some cinematic percussion. Let's make the toms. Yeah, that's fun. And I can hit a button here and capture that. That will work for me. I'm not too picky here. We're going to have that for the second half. Now I have to turn everything down because I'm getting a little carried away volume-wise here. Once you start adding instruments, make sure you turn down your total mix. Just remember, you don't want to overdrive and distort it unnecessarily. So. Maybe for the first part, we want to have some. Now we need some sweeps. Okay, where am I at? Oh, I'm still up there on the bells and stuff. So let's come down here to the new risers and drops. That's fun. So let's add just that one sample. And again, this is not set up quite right. I want to have the release really short so I can go from one right to the next. So right? So that transition, let's use a different one. Yeah, I've got my cinema going on here now. So sounds like a Knight Rider episode. Right? So the sound. And here's all it is. To get this to work. Just 4 tracks. And here's without Renegade. So Cloud City gave it a nice background, but you really need Now let's use a different style of music, just for fun, just to show you it can go other places. Show piano roll for the lead guitar. Oh, so Daniela can see. I'm hesitant to do that because I don't want her to copy it. But I will show. That's what the guitar is doing. Right? So all that kind of stuff you can go. So yeah, yeah. So anyway, it can work for that. If we go to instead of Race for a Cure, let's call up Cloud City and let's go somewhere else. Maybe like There For You, some sort of like a pop thing, right? Right? Let's use that because that could use some hand claps and a little bit of extra energy, right? So let's record quickly. Okay, so we have ourselves a little chord progression. Let's go over to another Unify. Oh, I got solo on. Turn off solo, please. There. Maybe I don't want rock guitar. That's nice. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring up the delay. And I'm going to make it a longer delay. Let's have a quarter notes and maybe a quarter note dotted. So you get a little bit of bouncing around. And I want the delays of the guitar to have some chorus. We have chorus, either single or multi bands of chorus. Do all sorts of fun stuff with this. And I actually want the feedback taps to also have a little distortion. Let's try that. So I'm just experimenting here. This is, you know. And maybe something like this. It'd be fun to put this on another track. And instead of super toms, let's go over here and like find some sort of a synth sound. We need to make some synth sounds. So that might be cool if I put this up higher in octaves. Let's take these guys and say transpose up 1 octave, please. 2 octaves. And then let's program around a little bit. Also have this go through a delay. Now I have that delay setting on that other track, right? So I could go up here to the guitar. Let's see, I'm going to change this to be purple chain, which means as I change tracks in Logic, it will change the plugin that you've got selected. So this way I can go over here. I can click right here on my chain and say copy this layer. And then I can go over here to the Dirty Talker, and for that auxiliary bus, just go right here and say paste replace that layer. And now it has the same delay with chorus and distortion on it. So I can and if you want to have fun, you can do things like on the second track, reverse the delay time. So this way, this is quarter notes. And this one gets to go to the, so I've swapped it so that now when the guitar and the synth play, their taps will be on other sides of each other. So you get this really cool stereo imaging from doing that. And I could like do some automation of volume. Add some percussion. Let's do the body. Let's go Unify. Let's go to ear candy, or actually up here, like just a layer claps. like that. So 2, 3. And then loop this. Now, one thing I'm going to do that Unify lets me do so easily is I want to randomize the timing of this. So right here in this little, stop please, go over here to MIDI effects, creative, jitterbox. Let's put jitterbox at about 35 milliseconds, random timing. Now each note gets random timing. And let's go over here to the last one. Like that. Hear how that kind of like, when you're doing grooves, a lot of times you need to find things to fill holes, and just putting a little cool. So we just have a little swoosh going in. So it has some low end on it. So we could go over here to audio effects, EQ. Let's go to single band and just say high pass, or low cut is what they call it. So now if I play this, I should be able to. I can determine how much low end I want it to have, right? So let's see, turn off. There's so much to do with those little fill things that you can just put something like that at the end of things. I mean, it's really, really fun. Now, one thing that's cool with this library is it also includes, go over here to the install for a second. There's 4 files for Unify, and then inside of the very first thing you download is the Renegade Wave Edition. This has sound design, ear candy, and loop samples in 24-bit 48 kilohertz wave. So this gives you all these sub hits, trailer hits, swooshes, and these are as simple as just taking one and dragging it over to your DAW. I'm gonna have to convert the file because I'm not at 48K right now. Right? So we could find the way to time that so that it's like on the and beat right there. And right here. I like that, but let's see, let's go like maybe a little bit shorter. And then go up here inside of Logic, you can do things like fade out. So you can put a fade out tail on it, say like 1600. And just make this really, really soft, but it's still there. And then I want to repeat. We could actually do it kind of tricky if we wanted to. We could just say, extend this to that point. No, it won't. Yeah, it might work. If I had this at exactly 1, see my length down there, the length. 3, 2, 1, 10. There we go. So now I can loop it. And I could take this original and I could, let's say, make like 4,000. I want it to be even shorter with a strong curve like this. And let's say like 3,500. Still too long. 3,000. Oh, it's not doing something right. There we go. So I was too large. I was larger than the sample itself. So let's say 20. Let's say 2200. I just want to have a little bit of the impact there. Right? So there's so many ways to use all of these sounds. I mean, my gosh, you could find other ones. Sure, let's put let's put that in. That'd be at the end right here, right? So let's go over here, get this to hit right, so we can like line it up so that it hits right at the end of 9. Now, one thing that's cool, most of your DAW programs will let you do this if you want. You can double click to open the sample editor. Actually, I think there's another window called audio editor file where you can see the actual file, and it should give me access to the anchor. And you could move the anchor. I don't see it here, and I'm not gonna I don't do a lot of writing anymore with this type of stuff, but by doing this, check this out. We'll start here. Right? And then you need a little crash or something on the downbeat. So we could find a hit. Let's go all these guys, close. And go trailer hits. Let's put a trailer hit. Why not? So find one that's not not too dramatic. These are all so. That's kind of cool. So let's put this over here at the beginning of measure 1, and let's look at it because it's got a little pre-roll thing on it. So what you can do is say, I don't need the pre-roll. So let's actually go X to get rid of that. And I'm going to zoom in on the waveform like this. Yeah, it's got that. There's like, oh, I'm zoomed in too high on the waveform to see what it is. But I'm going to just guess and just. No, we're not there yet. Let's do it this way. There we go. So let's move this. Hello. How can I? There it is. So I can change this. I know my sample editing. Let's go over here, see it a little bit better. That's pretty close. It'd be right on. And let's hit X to get all that to go away. Now we can line it up at the beginning. Yes. So this is all our library, Renegade, doing this part. To that. So, really usable to have all these cool types of sounds to use in cool, different ways. Yeah, right? So, you can do stuff like that. I want to save that synth patch I made really quick. Dirty Talker. And I'm going to make it, instead of mono, we'll make this poly. So go polyphonic. And for a lot of times, I don't put long delays on patches for when they're found in a library. You can add them and change the delay time. And I want just a little bit. I'm going to get snap with my favorite trick in this little Guru sampler. I'm going to use the one shot of the LFO on a custom wave shape that's a nice exponential pulse. I can get just really nice snappy nice and snappy. I like that. That I don't want to change the character of it too much, but let's see how that works with the guitar now. Let me save this. Save as Z Synth Snappy talking. Save as. There. Cool. Okay, and if we were, let's see, get that back. Compare that played with the guitar parts together. See if it still sounds nice. Yeah. Cool. Cool. And let me save this because I'm going to save. Let's go save. And snappy talking demo. There. Is the vendor going to be unified? I'm waiting to get clearance from them. I already have unified. I have the patches for it. But it's one of those things I like to get the okay from companies before I will release something of that magnitude. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. Haven't heard from them yet. One other thing. So Renegade, it's on a great introductory price. The retail price of it is also a complete steal, considering everything you get, including the wave folder. Yeah, Daniela, I'm not sure where Oleg has those videos. I will talk to him and see if I can find out where they are. I might be able to find them from going back through past conversations and find the links and see if they're still there. Don't forget, there's all these incredible wave samples like I was showing you in this library included. The demos and stems is also really fascinating because all 12 demos on the Renegade page that Bob has created are available in this really cool way where you have all the stems. Every sound is from this library. And so you can take all these parts and just drag them in to your sequencer. I'm going to say create new tracks. Oh, it's keeping the tempo. So what was his tempo? I keep forgetting this Logic is set up this way. 120 BPM. So go to Logic and say 120. So it plays. No, it's supposed to be. Oh, why are you doing that? And why did you do that? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, all these guys here, I can go Command 7. And I can say 1.0 and Shift V. Oh, that's not going to do it. Okay. One at a time. What a pain. I don't know why it's doing this, but no. 1.1. 1.1. 1.1. Which one is this? Okay, you're at 1.1. So if I select these guys and I turn off the main mix, here's the mix. It will now play. Let's mute all of these guys because this is our other song we were playing with. So mute. Something is not right. Let's do it this way. Get rid of this. Go over here and smart tempo settings off. I keep forgetting to save it in my song. Now when I drag these over, it won't do that. So let's say measure 1, create new tracks. Please just load them up. So now you have one of these demo songs in stem format, so you can hear how he used transitions. Let's see, let's go back a couple. Let's do this and the synth stabs. Right? So you can hear all the parts and study and see what did he do with the kick and the percussion and what is. Now, these aren't for use in your own music as these stems are, but all these sounds are in the library. So you can call up the percussion and find these samples and recreate it. But it's just really cool to have them available in this way for you to check them out. So all 12 demo songs are available to evaluate and check out. But again, they're not for, these are all registered with BMI Music. They're copywritten. We've got copywritten information clearly put at the beginning and inside every folder. So please respect that it's just for educating, evaluating, and learning from what Bob has. I mean, he's sharing what he has done to make these demo songs. So it's really cool that he has shared that information. So that's Renegade, and it's pretty cool. Really happy with how it turned out. There's one more thing to show you guys before we go, and this can be done fairly quickly because it's a very cool synthesizer made by our wonderful friends at Cherry Audio. They have created here, let's go back to Unify Standalone. How about this? Unify Standalone. We get our audio back and get show Midi happening. So this is Dream Synth, $39 for an original synthesizer from Cherry Audio, and we've unified it. So all 1,107 patches. We can thank Shane for this unification. Yeah, right. So hey, they have a patch called Cloud City. How cool. It's a really cool hybrid synthesizer. It's a combination. They have a unique oscillator they have designed that has a wave A and a wave B that could be mixed between. They're basically single samples across the keyboard of all sorts of different categories of sounds, as well as, so they have 3 oscillators like this. And then there's a 4th oscillator, which is a full string ensemble instrument with its own envelopes, which is really, really handy. So the patches, here, let's keep it open here for a minute so you can, here's their browser, all these categories. I wish their browser would stay open. That's why it's nice that it's unified, because this way of working is a little challenging. It's nice you can just go to key, and here they are for you to choose from. So many sounds. Let's go. If you go to the strings, they're really beautiful. To have 3 oscillators plus a string synthesizer. Very nice. 12 stage. Vibrato. One thing that's nice is if you want to experiment and see what's going on, you can click here and go to their templates, and something like they have one that's called Super Saw. So where's templates? Yeah, Super Saw, which sounds great. And you can study and see that they have it set unison mode with 16 voices. If you give it smaller number of voices, here's where you change to polyphonic modes. If you want to play with the waveforms, you can go down here to all the different sounds. They're kind of cheesy. It's supposed to be kind of, I think, more like retro. And because it's a single sample across the keyboard, you'll definitely get into, you know, that kind of a vibe. But it's nice. It's not just trying to do your traditional, another version of an analog synthesizer. Giving you access to samples definitely opens it up. Up here are your analog waveforms at the top. Then they have some one-shots of all sorts of drums and stuff to play with. It goes some really, really cool places. So 3 LFOs, great effects. It's for $39 on its introductory price. It's pretty much a no-brainer in my opinion. Let's see if we get to, is it sequence or ARP? Here we go for all the different fun. Yeah, no, we've unified it. It's, let me give you the link. If you go to the Unify standard page, it's there. Ask if this unified library is available. Yes, it is available. Let me give you a link. I did it last night. Standard. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. So standard. Yeah, if you go to the Unify page, it is there already down the list. So see view. Here, if you go to Unify and scroll down, when you get to the Cherry Audio, you will see. Didn't I put it in here? I thought I put it in here. I didn't put it in here yet. Sorry. I will put it in there right after the live stream, and I'll give you a link right now. Let's go over here to the Unified Libraries. Copy the link, and here it is. Let me put it into our live stream chat. I'm going to put it also in the video description. Cherry Audio. Save. Here's the link. Boom. it's Unified Dream Synth. There you go. And it uses the VST2 version of the plugin. So make sure that on the known plugins page, when you get to Dream Synth, that it says VST2. All right. Cool. And it's a very, very fun synthesizer. All their instruments are, for the price, pretty much no-brainers for giving you really cool, unique patches. They each have different strengths. As you can see, we've now unified quite a few Cherry Audio synthesizers. They each have a little bit different vibe. Right? Good stuff. Very, very good stuff. And so it's nice to add to the fold Dream Synth. So welcome, Dream Synth. The ambient and the art patches and all, it's just also good. So hope you enjoy. All right, any questions from you guys? Right, there's an auto hotkey application on PC. Shane used it to Unify and he shared how he did it. So if you join the forums at, let's see, I'll call up the link so you can see over here. Forums.pluginguru.com is where to go. And I believe down here somewhere in the patches, you'll get into post by Shane. And there are German forums and stuff like that. But somewhere in here, Shane, do you have a link to your... Oh, he actually put the link right here. Right here is his post. And there's already been a whole bunch of people. I started with, they're on page 4 now. So it's on the how to unify VSTs with hotkey scripts, auto hotkey scripts. So that's there. Let's see here. Oh, did Taylor talk to me on Skype? For example, I have like 5 different, okay. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little extra bonus. This is actually gonna be a separate video that I'm about to make. It's on the MIDI file type, I think it's type 0 is what is used to do like, we have some examples inside of Renegade where we're using the knob. If you go to Rockin' Renegade is the one that I did that has the drum patterns, for example, where we've got 5 different drum patterns, 4, or is it 5? Maybe it's 4 or 5. You can spin this, go to fills, and if you go to the MIDI box, and let's shrink this so you can see what's happening, like this, and then like this. When I move this knob, it's changing the MIDI file in this list. And how do you make one of these is a question that Taylor is pulling to me from the group. So halftime and then fills. So I can choose. And I also did this for the guitars and the bass. So you set these both at the beginning. And then the guitar knob goes between octaves. And what's great is with it being in octaves, you can be minor. In any other of these patterns, that's now major 7 in tone. So you can't play minor. The 9s, which is the next pattern, it's going to conflict. So you can set this to the very beginning, which is really cool. So you can do this, have the little motif going on. So if you want to do this, here's how you do this. Say I'm gonna bypass MIDI box. It's going to take a minute. It's a little bit involved, but what you do is this. I'm going to make 2 patterns, okay? So let's go up here, pull this apart, I got to actually quit the standalone version of Unify and do this just in the Logic version so I can play and hear what I'm playing. Turn on Unify. I could even change and make this inside of one of these big groove things and stuff like that, right? So let's go to Renegade, Rockin' Renegade. I'm going to change the drums. So hit B to bypass and then M to mute everybody else for right now, because I don't want to hear them. Now I got the drum kit by itself. So I'm going to say, I'm going to hold down a key that's going to give me duplicates of this. Oh, wait. I want to be up here and like this. So I have a number of tracks, and I don't know why the timing got messed up like this, but let's do this. Let's say, everybody go to measure 1. And let's see, can I get this to start at measure 1? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do a little 2 measure drum pattern, right? Nothing else is playing, so I can... Oh. Undo. I want to be up here. I'm going to do one that's just kick and snare. Right? And so I'm going to hold down Option and drag this over here. I'm going to call this just kick and snare. Groove, kick, and snare. And then I'm going to go back to this, and let's see. I don't need solo on. And I'm going to go to the second layer, and I'm going to play in hi-hats. And I forgot to mute all of these guys, so of course they're going to take off and start playing along. And Command J to join that. So I now have, I'm going to go over here and say kick, snare, hat, and snare and hat. And then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to do one more with right cymbal. Where's my... Let's see here. Oh, I think because the notes cut off at B. There's my ride. And I'm going to bring up the release a little bit longer on this, so it brings it a little bit nicer. And okay, and join that. So I now have 3 patterns, and this is called, we'll see, copy, over here, paste, and write. Okay, so the key to get this to work is to layer them all and then select all of them and then export this as a MIDI file. And by saving it to a MIDI file, drum groove stack is what I do. I put a large cap stack at the beginning of the name. And now I have this MIDI file. And then I can get rid of these. I can go back to Unify and I can unmute the drums and then double click this and say, I want to load, and I'm going to actually navigate. I got to go like this to the desktop, to that drum groove stack. And now it's in here. And as you can see, there's 3 tracks because they were saved as a MIDI type 0. Here's hi-hats. Here's with ride. And then the final piece de resistance is to go to the knobs. And you go to the knob that you want to use. Let's get rid of this so that we do it from scratch. This is instrument 1 drive kit. There's a MIDI box on here that's driving it. So you hit the plus button, go instrument, drive kit. Here's the MIDI effect. And then you highlight MIDI box, and right here is track number. It's the second option from the top. Select that, and now this knob will let me change. Let's shrink this down so I can show you. And then if you want to do this for the bass or for the guitars, you just do the same approach. And now you can take a complete song. Say you're doing a live show, you could have it so that you do this in Unify and it changes from one section of the song to another by a knob. So you could stay at one part of the song, and then when you guys are done jamming and ready to go on to the next section, just bring the knob up to the middle, right? And then when you go to the last part, taking that idea into mind, we've had some examples like Poppin', which is a groove, one note. Let's see if I'm up here and, oh, what's going on? I need to be here. And why isn't it gonna play? Let's see what's going on. Oh, you know what? I think I just replaced the MIDI files and, well, here, another example was, I don't think Swagger has variations. Yeah, no, I broke, I think I broke Poppin'. Bob sent me some new MIDI files and, oh, no, they're there for that, but let's see, this, Poppin'. And survey says, no, it's working. They're there. Okay, so, oh, it's low C. Right. Duh. So these, oh, did he update this? Oh. I had one more. Oh, Rockin' Jam Time. This is the one. Where you can go to the song section knob. And by changing the knob, it's now playing different MIDI files. So the bass and the guitar change. So that could be one section of your song. We have a thing with MIDI. It'll correct itself. Oh, I just made RoboSax's day. Good. That's how you do it. So some sequencers don't do the stacking of MIDI files and saving as a MIDI file type 1. I've read that a couple of them don't do that, but most of them do. But that's how you do it. So that gets you going into the really fun place of using MIDI box to creatively change what it's doing. And what's great, I've got all sorts of examples I've shown you guys in the past, like all the drum grooves, these things when you go to something like, we just did this on Lo-Fi. All these lo-fi drum grooves are, this is a MIDI box that has all of these drum grooves in it. So if you go to this knob, it's changing, and I actually have it so it shows you the name of the groove that's changing. If you automate going like, it will record that, and that's now your drum groove. So you can do some really creative, fun things by taking multiple patterns, stacking them up, and using a knob to change between them. Right? So there's all sorts of crazy ways to use things like this. So hope that helps get you guys going. So it opens up all sorts of crazy doors when you realize the power that Unify has to do fun things with MIDI box is like crazy flexible what you can do with this. You can set it to play only mode and it plays drum patterns. If you set it to key transpose, now different notes actually transpose the notes of the pattern, which is really crazy. If you say play mode and you turn this on, now it transposes the samples. So you make drums that are really deep and stuff. It's These two buttons right here are just crazy fun. So that's another video I have to make to show you the flexibility of the play only versus play. And then poly lets you play multiples of the same thing. So it's very, very powerful for chords and stuff like that. So, all right. So thank you for watching and hanging. Yeah. So do our shout outs. Oh, I wanted to point out, I should have said something about this earlier, but you guys were incredible. We did a fundraiser last weekend for Ukraine, and we raised $12,000. So we'll be sending $12,000 to the Red Cross and to Vostok. So thank you to all of you guys. I didn't put anything in the announcement last night since it was for the new library, but I'm going to put an announcement in the next email to everybody because you guys came through. It's really, really cool to raise some money for Ukraine and the situation going on over there. So, yeah. Shout out from Portland. You guys are awesome. Renegade stuff. Yeah, about the 29th, we will be including bonus patches for Renegade. We're also going to be doing some programming for the United Library, which is a group. United, this library, 100% of the profits, excuse me, will be going to the Ukraine Fund as well. And these are really fun grooves. Combining Alan's groove and then some Kindle groove. Let's add something else. And then if you wanted, you could make multiple MIDI files in your sequencer for these four and then use the knob to go between them. Toby writing, let's see. Yes, yeah, end of the month, 29th or so is, yes. So yeah, Bob, thank you. We were able to raise over $12,000 so far, and people are still buying the United Library, and whatever is earned for that library will go to Ukraine. So it's awesome to be able to have a good thing like that happen. So thank you to all of you that have contributed. If you want to still contribute, the Ukraine library is still available at the website. It's called United. It's the second link right here. 100% of the sales go to this library. So we've got offers. Thank you to all. There's amazing number of you guys have donated $250 for this library. So thank you. Super generous of you to do so. Yeah. Yes, this is an international company. As you can see from the shout outs, it's worldwide. So thank you to all of you. Be well. We'll see you next week in another live stream. Keep rocking. There's all sorts of fun things going on. Next week, there's some crazy stuff coming this week. So we'll have a lot to talk about. Okay. So be well. Hands together, head bowed. Thank you for your support. Rock and roll. See ya. Bye.